The sky above the battlefield was dark, filled with heavy clouds that seemed ready to fall. The ground was dry and cracked, broken by the footsteps of thousands of alien soldiers. They stood in rows, tall and proud, their strange weapons glowing blue in their hands. Their armor was smooth and silver, reflecting the cold light of the distant sun. In front of them, alone and still, stood one human man. He didn't move. He didn't speak. He just stood there, calm, like a statue. The alien commander stepped forward and laughed loudly. "Is this a joke?" he shouted. "You send one man to fight us, one human?" The alien soldiers laughed with him, the sound echoing across the empty field, but the man said nothing. His suit was dark and covered most of his body. Thin lines of red light moved along his arms and chest. His eyes glowed slightly behind a clear visor. The wind blew dust across his boots. Then slowly, he lifted his right foot and took one step forward. The ground cracked. The laughter stopped. Something was wrong. The air around him began to shimmer. It looked like heat rising from the road on a hot day, but this was different. It was cold, sharp, and filled with pressure. The alien soldiers stepped back without knowing why. Their instincts screamed. This was no normal man. The human raised his hand. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a deep sound filled the air, like metal being pulled apart. The first row of alien soldiers suddenly froze, their eyes wide, their weapons dropped. One by one, they fell to their knees, gasping for breath, unable to move. The alien commander growled, "Attack! All of you, now!" The army rushed forward, weapons glowing, ready to crush the human like a bug. But the man didn't move. Symbols appeared in the air above him, floating, glowing red, ancient. The kind no one had seen in 1,000 years. The charging aliens slowed. One of them shouted, "It's the Terran, the Doombringer!" Others screamed in fear. Some turned to run, but the commander forced them forward. "He's only one man!" The human finally spoke, and his voice was calm but cold. "You came to Earth. You killed our people. You thought we would break. You were wrong." Then he moved, not like a normal fighter, not even like a machine. He was faster than thought. In 1 second, he was among them. His hands moved like blades. But he didn't kill. He touched. And wherever he touched, aliens dropped to the ground, paralyzed. Their weapons shattered in their hands. Their armor cracked. Panic spread like fire. Some tried to shoot him. Their blasts passed through empty air. He was never where they aimed. Others tried to escape. The ground opened beneath them and pulled them in, like the earth itself obeyed him. The alien commander screamed in anger. He jumped forward, ready to fight, but the human caught him midair and slammed him to the ground. The metal armor of the commander bent under the force. The man grabbed the commander by the throat and lifted him off the ground. His face was only inches away. "Tell your masters," he said. "Humanity kneels to no one." He threw the commander to the ground. The aliens still standing dropped their weapons and fell to their knees, not because they were hurt, but because they were afraid. The field went silent. Then, a shadow passed over the battlefield. A huge ship blocked the sky above them. But it was not an alien ship, and it wasn't human. It was something else, older, darker. The ship had no lights, no sound, but it gave off a feeling, a deep fear that made the air thick. The human looked up. For the first time, his face showed a change. Not fear, but caution. A voice, quiet and strange, whispered in the minds of everyone present. He was not the first. The screen fades to black. The dark ship floated in the sky like a mountain in the clouds. It made no sound, but the fear it brought was heavy. Even the air seemed to stop moving. The human, still standing in the middle of the silent battlefield, looked up at the giant shape above. His eyes narrowed. Something about that ship was not right. It didn't belong to the alien army. It didn't belong to any known race. It was something older, The alien commander, still on the ground, looked up too. His voice shook as he whispered, "That is not one of ours." His soldiers stared in silence. Some dropped their weapons again. Even they could feel it. Cold feeling deep in their bones. Fear from something they didn't understand. The ship began to move. Slowly. A circle of light opened beneath it. It wasn't fire. It wasn't energy. It was just emptiness. A perfect black hole in the air. And from that hole, something came out. It wasn't a person. It wasn't a machine. It was a shape made of shadows, walking without sound. Its body kept changing, sometimes tall, sometimes thin, sometimes like smoke. No one could see its face, only two white eyes glowing in the dark. The human stepped forward again. This time, he was ready. His suit began to glow brighter. Red lines turned gold. His body rose off the ground a little, floating. Power moved around him like a storm just waiting to break. The shadow creature stopped about 20 feet away. It looked at the human. And for a moment, everything was quiet. Then it spoke. Its voice didn't come from its mouth. It came from everywhere. It echoed in every mind. "You are not like the others," the voice said. "You are marked." The human said nothing. His body tensed. "You have touched the source," the voice continued. "That power is not yours. Give it back." The man finally spoke. "No." The creature raised one arm. A wave of darkness rushed toward him like water. The alien soldiers screamed and ran, but the human didn't move. His body glowed brighter, and the darkness shattered when it reached him. Light and dark hit each other in a huge explosion that shook the ground. The blast threw dust and stone into the air. Smoke covered everything. No one could see what happened. When the dust cleared, the human was still standing, but his suit was damaged. Sparks flew from his chest. He looked tired, but he was still ready to fight. The shadow creature was still there, but weaker now. Parts of its body blinked like fading light. "You don't belong here," the man said. "Leave, or I will end." "You!" the creature hissed, then stepped back into the black hole. The hole closed behind it, and the strange ship began to rise. Slowly, it moved higher into the sky, then disappeared into the clouds like it had never been there. Silence returned. The human turned around. The battlefield was empty now, except for the alien commander and a few broken weapons. The man walked slowly toward the commander. He leaned down and spoke clearly. "Now you understand. We are not weak. We are not alone. And we never forget." The commander, shaking, whispered, "What are you?" The human looked up at the sky where the ship had vanished. "I'm just the first." He turned and walked away, leaving the broken field behind. As he moved into the shadows, his voice echoed one last time. "They thought we would kneel. Now they know better." The screen fades to black. The stars were quiet above the dark side of the moon. Deep inside an old base hidden under its surface, red lights blinked slowly. Dust covered the metal floors. It had been abandoned for a long time. But now, someone was here. The human walked down the long hallway, his suit still damaged from the last battle. His steps echoed as he moved deeper inside. He had followed the strange energy signal from the shadow creature's ship. It led him here, an ancient Terran facility, lost during the First Contact War over 200 years ago. He opened a thick door, and inside, blue lights came on. A large room with machines older than memory. In the center stood a tall glass tube. Inside was a person, frozen, eyes closed, wearing a uniform marked with the same strange symbols that had appeared in the sky. Before, the human stepped closer. "Another one," he whispered. The person inside was not just any soldier. He looked different, bigger, stronger. His skin showed glowing lines like the human's suit. But he wasn't wearing a suit. The energy was part of him. A soft voice came from behind. "You found him." The human turned fast. A woman stood there holding a small device. She wore a scientist's coat, but her eyes were sharp. "I knew someone would come," she said. "He was the first." The human stared. "The first what?" "The first to touch the source." "The first Terran to survive it," she said. "Before you. Before the war. Before Earth burned." The man's face turned hard. "Why was I never told? Why did they hide this?" The woman walked to the glass tube. "Because he changed. The power made him strong, but dangerous. He saw things, heard voices, said something was coming, something from beyond the edge of space. He called it the Deep One." She looked at the human. "The same thing that sent that shadow creature after you." The lights in the room flickered. A low hum filled the air. The frozen man inside the tube opened his eyes. The human stepped back, ready to fight. But the man inside didn't move. He just stared, calm and silent. The scientist whispered, "He's waking up." The tube opened slowly. Cold steam poured out. The man inside stepped forward. His voice was deep and quiet. "You've touched it too. The source." The human nodded. "Who are you?" "I was the first weapon," he said. "And now, I must become the shield." Suddenly, alarms began to ring. A voice spoke through the base speakers. "Warning. Unknown ship approaching. Impact in 60 seconds. The human looked at the older warrior. "Are they here for you?" He nodded. "They always come. The Deep One knows I still live." The scientist ran to a control panel. "The base won't hold. You need to leave, both of you." The warrior placed his hand on the human's shoulder. "No, he needs to stay. He needs to see what they truly are." The ground shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Outside, a huge black ship was landing on the moon's surface. The human asked, "What do you mean?" The older warrior looked up, eyes glowing. "They don't want to destroy humanity. They want to use it, twist it, because only Terrans can survive the source. Only we can become like them." The human's blood turned cold. Then came the voice again. Inside their heads, the same as before, deep, cold. "You cannot run. You belong to us." The warrior's fists lit up with bright gold fire. He turned toward the door. "No," he said. "We belong to no one." The screen fades to black. Dust rose from the broken moon base as the black ship touched down. It was quiet. Too quiet. No engines, no lights. Just a heavy feeling in the air, like the calm before a storm. The human and the first warrior stood at the main door, watching as the ship slowly opened. From inside, shapes began to move. Tall, thin, and wrapped in black armor that shimmered like liquid. Their eyes were like small stars, white and endless. They walked without sound. "They are not soldiers," the first warrior said. "They are collectors." The human narrowed his eyes. "What do they collect?" The warrior's voice was hard. "Souls, memory, power. They strip away what makes you human, then leave your body empty." The collectors stopped outside the base. One of them stepped forward and raised a strange staff. A signal pulsed through the ground. All the base lights turned off. The machines died. The silence became deeper than space. The warrior turned to the human. "Stay behind me. You're not ready yet." But the human shook his head. "I didn't come this far to hide." The warrior gave a small smile. "Good. Then fight like a Terran." He ran forward, glowing with power. Each step left a mark in the floor. His fists struck like thunder. The first collector fell, crushed into the dust. The human followed, slower but focused. He reached out with his mind, the way he had done before. The source answered. Light moved along his arms. He threw his hand forward, and one of the collectors flew into the ship's wall. But then the others moved. Fast. Faster than anything he had seen before. One reached the human and placed a cold hand on his head. Images rushed into his mind. Earth burning, cities screaming, shadows falling from the sky. Then, a voice. "You are the bridge," it said. "You will open the gate." The human screamed and pushed back with everything he had. The collector flew across the base, broken, but the voice stayed in his head, whispering. The warrior grabbed him and pulled him behind cover. "They know who you are now. They won't stop." The human gasped for breath. "What gate? What are they talking about?" The warrior looked down. "The deep one. It's not just a creature. It's a prison, a lock, and inside it is something older than time." A deep tremor shook the base. The ground cracked. The ship began to change. Its surface melted, becoming flesh. Eyes opened along its sides. Mouths whispered things that made no sense. The ship was alive and waking up. The scientist ran into the room. "It's using energy from the source. It's feeding on your power." The human's hands trembled. "Then I'll take it back." He stood, even though his body hurt. The symbols from before, those strange glowing marks, appeared again in the air around him. This time, they burned red hot. The collectors paused. They looked at each other. Then, for the first time, they stepped back. The first warrior's eyes went wide. "They fear you now." The human's voice was calm and strong. "Good." He raised both arms. Light burst from his body like a wave. The ship shook. The collectors screamed, covering their faces. The source energy poured out, crashing against the living metal. The ship tried to escape. It lifted off the ground, breaking apart as it rose. A hole tore open in space above it, black and swirling. Then something reached through. A single hand, huge, clawed. It touched the edge of the world. The human stared up. "That's the deep one." The hand began to pull itself forward. The warrior shouted, "Close it! You have to close it now!" "But how?" the human asked. The warrior looked at him with steady eyes. "You are the bridge, but you can also be the lock." The human understood. He reached out toward the hole. The symbols burned across his skin. His body began to shake. His eyes turned white. The source flowed like a river through him and into the sky. The hole closed. The hand vanished. The ship fell, silent and empty. The human collapsed. Darkness. Then a heartbeat. The screen fades to black. Darkness. Cold. Silence. The human floated in a black space. He couldn't move, he couldn't breathe. But he was not dead. He could feel something. A voice. No, many voices, whispering in the dark. "You touched the gate. You saw the edge." He tried to speak, but no sound came. Then suddenly light broke through the dark, a crack of gold across the black sky. And with it, pain. He woke up. His eyes opened slowly. The ceiling was smooth, white, and bright. A soft beep echoed near his head. He was in a medical bed, deep inside the old moon base. Machines watched his heartbeat. His body ached everywhere. His hands were burned. His suit was gone. Only scars and glowing lines remained. The scientist sat beside him. Her eyes were tired but full of relief. "You came back." He tried to sit up. "What happened?" "You closed the gate." The deep one's hand pulled back. "The living ship died. The collectors vanished." She paused. "But it nearly killed you." The human looked down at his arms. "It left something in me." She nodded. "Yes, you're changing." Before he could ask more, the door opened. The first warrior entered. He looked different, stronger, older. His eyes glowed brighter. "He survived," the warrior said. "Good." The human stood, though his legs were weak. "Why did they call me the bridge?" The warrior stepped closer. "Because your mind can reach both sides. You carry the source, but you remain human. That makes you the key to both creation and destruction." the scientist added. And now the Deep One knows your name. It will come again. The human clenched his fists. Then we end it. No more running, the warrior smiled. We can't fight it alone. We need more. More what? More of us. The warrior led them to a sealed room deep inside the base. Inside were 7 more pods, just like the one the warrior had slept in. Inside each pod, a Terran warrior, frozen in time. They were the first team, the warrior explained. We called them the Sparks, chosen to hold the source. But the project was shut down. Too dangerous, too unstable. I was the only one kept alive. The human walked slowly past the pods. Why wake them now? Because you're strong, the warrior said, but not strong enough to face what's coming. The Deep One has armies. We need one too. The scientist looked worried. If we wake them, we may not be able to control them. The human stopped. We don't need control. We need trust. One by one, they powered up the pods. Lights blinked. Energy flowed. The first warrior stood in front of the frozen soldiers and spoke. Sparks of Earth, you slept through the fall of our home. You slept while they tried to break us. But now the enemy has returned, the gate has opened again, and a new bridge has been chosen. He turned to the human. This is our leader now. The Deep One fears him, and so will all who follow it. One by one, the pods opened. The soldiers inside woke up, eyes glowing, power rising. They looked at the human and bowed their heads. The human stood tall, still scarred, still hurting, but ready. Let's remind the stars why humanity kneels to no one. The screen fades to black. The ship moved fast through space, faster than light. Inside, the Sparks were silent. Some sat with eyes closed, feeling the source flow inside them again. Others checked old weapons, updating systems that had not been used for 100 years. The human stood near the window, staring out at the stars. He still felt the burn in his arms. The glowing lines across his skin pulsed slowly like a second heartbeat. The power had not faded. It was growing. The first warrior joined him. They follow you now. I didn't ask for that, the human said. Doesn't matter, the warrior replied. The source chose you. Now, so have they. The scientist entered the room. We've reached the signal, she said. It's coming from a dead world. No life, no cities, just ruins, and one massive gate. The human's eyes narrowed. The Deep One left a gate open? The warrior shook his head. No, that gate was never closed. They landed on the dead world. Gray rocks, black sky, no wind, only silence. The team moved together, glowing softly with source energy. Each step echoed across the ancient dust. In the middle of the broken land, they saw it, a huge stone gate built into a cliff. Symbols covered its surface. Symbols the human had seen before, in his visions. He stepped closer. The gate pulsed when he touched it. His hand lit up, and the symbols began to glow. Then the gate opened, not with noise, not with movement. It simply changed. 1 second it was stone. The next it was a hole into another place. A place without stars. A place of whispers. The human staggered back. The voice returned in his head. Deeper, louder. You open the path again. Just like before. The warrior grabbed his arm. Don't fall in. It wants to pull you through. The scientist scanned the gate. This isn't just a door. It's a wound. Something tore space itself open here. Suddenly, shapes began to move inside the gate. At first, they looked like people, but they were wrong. Their skin was pale and smooth, their eyes empty. They walked like puppets, slow, strange, and behind them came something worse, a figure in a long, dark robe. No face, no sound, just a feeling, cold and endless. The Sparks drew their weapons. Energy pulsed through the ground. The human stepped forward. Stay back, he told the others. I need to speak to it. The warrior started to protest, but the human raised a hand. He stood in front of the gate, facing the robed figure. "What do you want?" The figure raised its head slightly. 1,000 voices answered at once. "You. The bridge. The lock. The weapon. We were broken. Now we rise again." The human's voice was firm. "I'm not yours." The figure pointed at him. A bolt of black energy shot forward. The human didn't move. He raised one hand. The bolt stopped in the air and shattered. The sparks moved in fast. Battle began. Light and shadow crashed. Sparks fired golden beams. The puppets broke apart, screaming. The warrior fought beside the human, pushing the creatures back. But the robed figure didn't fight. It only watched. Then it spoke again. "The others have heard. The last gate is waking. Soon, the deep one will walk." The gate snapped shut. Everything went silent. Dead bodies covered the ground. The team stood breathing hard, weapons ready, but the enemy was gone. The scientist whispered, "What did it mean?" "The last gate?" The warrior looked at the human. "It means the real battle hasn't started yet." The human turned toward the sky. His voice was quiet. "Then we'll meet it head on." The screen fades to black. The stars above Earth were quiet, but the silence was not peace. Something was coming. High above the planet, in Earth's last defense station, alarms screamed. Soldiers ran through halls. Screens showed a storm growing in space. Not a natural one. A black cloud stretching across the stars. Ships, thousands of them, inside the storm. At the center, a giant shape. Half shadow, half metal. Alive, the deep one. The station commander called the lower levels. "Where are they? Where's the team?" "They're coming," the voice replied. "Hold the line." Far below, the ship of the Sparks entered orbit. Inside, the human stood still. His glowing arms were calm now. The light no longer hurt. It felt like breath. Around him, the Sparks prepared. Their armor shined with energy. The first warrior placed a hand on his shoulder. "This is the last," he said. "If we fail, Earth falls, and the stars will follow." The human nodded. "Then we don't fail." The ship flew forward, straight into the storm. Enemy ships opened fire. The sky lit up. But the Sparks didn't slow down. They moved like lightning. Beams of source energy tore through the shadows. The first warrior leapt from the ship, landing on a cruiser and smashed it in half with one blow. But the deep one was still coming. Bigger than any ship. Its form was not solid. It changed shape. Giant wings, then claws, then mouths. Its voice hit every mind at once. "You cannot stop what was made before your stars. You are dust." The human stepped to the edge of the ship. His eyes glowed white. "We're not dust. We're fire." He jumped, fell through space like a comet, hit the surface of the deep one's ship. The metal screamed under his feet. The creature formed a face from smoke. "You are the bridge. I will break you and walk through." The human didn't answer. He placed both hands on the living surface, and for a moment, everything stopped. He was inside the deep one's mind, endless dark, empty galaxies, a prison built from stars, and something worse trying to escape it. The source whispered to him, "If it breaks through, all will burn." The human saw one final path. He looked into the heart of the deep one and did the only thing it didn't expect. He opened himself completely. He let the source burn everything. Light burst from his body. Golden fire, louder than sound, stronger than gravity. It tore through the deep one's ship, through the shadow fleet, through space itself. The spark shielded Earth. The storm broke. The deep one screamed. Its body came apart, one piece at a time, until nothing remained but silence. The human was gone. Nothing remained but falling stars. The war was over. Days passed. Earth healed. The people remembered the one who stopped the sky from falling. In one, the moon base, the scientist stood in front of the frozen gate. She pressed her hand against it. The symbols glowed once more, and a voice, his voice, whispered from the other side. I'm not gone. I'm watching. The screen fades to black. The end.